Hello everybody. Today in Firefall, we'll be looking at map strategies and just an overall view of the new map for Jetball. Now, most of you have probably tried out Jetball at least once or twice so far in the new patch. I know it's been a bit buggy, and Q's been alright. Definitely been supported by a lot of the teams that used to play in the Brondon 3 and stuff like that are just powering through this and making sure that queues are popping constantly so everyone gets to try out the new map and everything. But we're just going to go over a quick overview of the entire map itself and how it all works, just so you have a good idea of what you need to be doing in the game. Alright, starting from the red team side, we have the first goal, and this is the prime objective of the game, is to get the ball from the center, this thing that spawns right here, and we're going to get it, or let's see, the red team's objective is to get this ball all the way past the enemy team into the blue goal. Now, if you shoot the ball, which you can do by right-clicking, right-clicking, it charges up the ball and sends it forward, like actually trying to shoot the ball. And if you shoot it through the goal, you score a point. But if you're able to get your entire character holding the ball through the post itself, you get 3 points. Kind of the opposite for basketball, I guess. The closer it is, the more points you get. But, alright. So, map design. How does it work? So, off the bat, you coming out of the gates, you have 3 options. You can run down the center, and you come to the second room, which splits off again into the side lanes that are still coming from the beginning, and we get to the center room. Off the bat, you really don't care. You're just trying to get to the ball, protect it, try to kill everyone else as much fast as possible so that you can push the objective forward. But once you get the ball, or once one of the teams has the ball, the fighting persists, and the positioning becomes more important depending on how the fight goes and where the teams end up. At the end, you might choose to take a side path. The reason you might want to take a side path is depending on how many people are still alive when your team has the ball. So, obviously this is the main confrontation room, and so this is where a lot of the fighting is going to be, unless certain classes like take up this space that you just don't want to fight in. Like engineers can set up turrets in here, and it really drives teams away from fighting in this center area very easily, just because they're so annoying. So you'll see team fights take place in these smaller corridors, which is a really cool idea. That way it drives, it could drive teams into smaller spaces so that the rest of their team can be composed of large AoE compositions, and they'll dominate better in there. So that's a good idea. It's a really cool strategy. But if you are fighting in here, they put a lot of health packs in here, so that because they know all the confrontations are going to be right here. A lot of people are going to be fighting around, so they have plenty of ammo and health packs here so that your team can get into the fights, get through the fights, and maybe turn things around by picking up health packs at very good times. And then by the end of the fight, your team can heal up and then push the objective forward. Now, next thing to note is if your team fully cleans up, and they get their health back, and they just want to push forward towards the goal, you might take the center path. The center path is the quickest way to get towards the goal, and it's got a nice little jump up, get in there. You could probably get in there with just one final jump as soon as you hit this ramp. It's really nice. Really cool idea. So, I don't know. It's really easy and very quick. But if your team does not completely destroy the enemy team, or the battle's still going on technically, just because not enough people are dying, you might consider having a runner position. Mainly right now, that's mainly biotechs or assault classes. The Accord biotech has that damage mitigation. It's got that poison trail, which takes away a lot of the chasing. Or you can have just pure speed and go Firecat or Accord assault. They'll take the side paths. There's a lot of good reasons to take the side path. First thing is there are health packs up here, so while they're fast, they're still going to be they're still going to be targeted. As soon as there's a runner, the objective shows on their head that they have the ball and that they're moving towards the goal, so they instantly become the next target. So as a runner, you're going to be primarily jumping from these health packs to the next health pack and trying to get all the way down towards the goal. There's supposed to be a health pack here. Weird. And then coming in for either a shot or a final afterburner type effect to get through the goal. All right. So, other things to keep in mind is starting out. If you really like your HKM or you have a really powerful HKM that turns the battle really well, especially biotech right now, that'll easily destroy an entire team. Your first route coming out of the gate might be to come down this side path and pick up this HKM booster. This boosts up half your HKM, allowing you to probably get your HKM off during the first engagement. So you get your HKM, you might show up a little bit late, but the fight has already started, and you're able to get enough damage to build up your HKM really quickly and get it off to win the fight. It's a really good idea. So depending on your team composition, you might pick a person to come up, pick one of your team to come up and take this buff. Now, it is on the other side of the map, but right now it's not showing up. So I'm wondering if that's either, it could be the same bug as that health pack over there, and it's also here, so you might pick two people in your party to grab one. But it could also, I doubt that's the case. I think it's just a bug. So you might just pick two people in your party to pick up the HKM, or if you really want to be selfish, have your biotech or someone with a really powerful HKM to pick up both, and then just come wreck fate and just come clean up everything in the middle. Now, there are side lanes over here. As a person coming down this side lane, coming down this side lane and not wanting to enter the center room for some reason, like I'm trying to think of a situation right now. If someone drops the ball, your teammate is able to stop their push and grabs the ball and tries to come down, and you give it to your runner, you already have the ball in your possession. You don't want to enter the confrontation zone. So you have your runner and you have their support. You're trying to get it down as far as possible so that the objective is like really far away from your base. You might have your runner, which could be like primarily assault is the best thing I'm thinking of, would come down to this side lane, split off to the right, and pick up this cooldown booster to get that extra afterburner as soon as he gets up here, so he can start bouncing from health pack to health pack as he makes his way towards the goal. I mean, it's a cool side lane, and if the center area is choked off by like a bastion or something like that, you might like this option. But really, I like the cooldown reduction, and I don't like how much of a choke point this is. So I really wouldn't rely on this unless you have a runner and you know you're not going to be cut off there. But other than that, this really is all there is to the map. I like the way everything splits off just constantly. Like, you can go the side lane. You can go the side lane over here. You can get to the side lane over here, and then you split off the side lanes already over here. You always have options for different positioning, which is very important in an arena in just this kind of arena, and especially just Firefall in general. It's based on movement, it's based on choices, and that's really going to be like what makes you a better team. Wow, did I actually forget this? Wow. Okay. I guess I was focusing on up here. So, runners. You also have another way to try to avoid as much damage as possible, and that's these speed buffs. You'll see them over here. They're just ways for you to help you get to these positions up here. Basically, you'll get the speed buff, basically ski through these health packs, and depending on how much, you probably need another speed buff, so you just fall down and then speed buff again, get that last health pack, and especially when you're coming down over here, you'll fall down, get that speed buff up there, just to keep your momentum going, so that getting to the goal is as quick as possible. And mastering that run is going to be very important. It reminds me a lot of Tribes, which is really cool. If you get used to that hover sprinting ability, it goes really fast, and I like it a lot. It gives the running aspect a special technique that makes you much more important as a player to master your role, which is really cool, since you're not being judged by your fighting ability at that point. The only thing I'd like to see is maybe an underground option, like out of the confrontation zone. You might have two different ways to get this done. Let's see, your team finishes up a fight, you want to push, but you see like two people that have already respawned, but they don't do that much. They don't, let's see, like they're biotechs or something like that. Like they'd wear you down, but they wouldn't kill you instantly. So you want to avoid their damage in that room. So you split off, maybe there's a hole right here, and it splits underground. And then so the room comes up and it finishes, whoops. Yeah, this nice hole right here. You just come up out of that and then try to go for a goal. That would be a really cool idea for the map. And I'd really like to see maybe a bit more verticality. Even another kind of choice, basically. Because I really like the way that this side lane is designed, to where you can take vertical paths to get more health, and you're like, and you constantly have to go up and down to get those speed buffs, health buffs, and bonuses over on the side lanes, things like that. Just a lot of choice and a lot of skill required to get used to this kind of map style. It's really good. I was very impressed with this map, actually. But it goes from like really fast-paced, really skilled skiing type stuff over here to your really open arena style. I mean, let's see. The characters are small. This place is a lot bigger than I think a lot of us were expecting. So, even though it looks like a smaller room than it really is, and you'll see that in a lot of the gameplay commentary that I'm going to do later, it's going to look really cool, but it's not as confined, so it technically still counts as an open area. I think if players were like almost the size, like, let's see, if two players could hide behind this pillar side to side, this would be a much more close quarters, kind of like the pillar room on the rig, where everyone's like struggling to hit each other because the pillars are messing up everyone's aim. It was a lot of fun and took a lot of skill to get people in between pillar shots like that when everyone was so fast. But now that everyone's slowed down, everyone's a lot smaller, so the areas are much more open compared, kind of like Sunken Harbor, where you can just see everybody. You can aim at everybody. you really don't have that problem, or you really don't have much choice in how you want to fight in those open areas. It's very, very scary, honestly. I'd like to see more verticality and more close quarters type of fighting ability in these more open areas. We'll see how the map changes and see what they do with it. But so far, it's actually really impressive. So that's basically the general overview of the map right now, and we'll talk more about how people are getting used to this kind of map style and what a lot of the real teams are coming up with as they see some of the functionalities of the mechanics right now in the game. But that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, feel free to click the like, subscribe buttons below for future content on Firefall, PvP, and Jetball, and all that kind of stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.